There's just something so satisfying about picking from a giant pile of books. So, we're doing it again with kind of a big MBR pile for August in what I'm calling It's About Time August, where I'll be focusing on continuing series and hopefully making some good progress or getting some stuff closed out. So, let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to be doing my giant kind of MBR slash pile of possibilities for August, which I'm really trying to focus on largely continuing series only and not really doing a whole lot else. Now, as always, there'll be some stuff where I might throw in other stuff here and there, but I really am trying to focus on just mostly doing stuff that I have to continue because, as you'll see, it's a pretty big pile of stuff that I have to get to for sure. So it's definitely, I feel like it'll be very easy to pick from this quite large variety. Now, I have actually already started, and I'm filming this on the second, but I got a little bit of a head start because for the first time in forever, I actually finished readathon stuff early, and it kind of a really nice chilled finish. So I just jumped right in and was excited and raring to go. So first off, we have Nightborn Coldfire Rising by C.S. Friedman. This is a prequel novel to the Coldfire saga, which I really, really enjoyed and loved that trilogy, and so I've been very excited to get to this. I'm only a couple of chapters in so far, but I'm already just so excited. This is much more on the sci-fi side, whereas Coldfire is very sci-fantasy. But this is the prequel that's about people from Earth originally first coming to this planet, and just the dramatic way it starts, where like they're all in like basically cryostasis, and the ship is supposed to find a planet, but it goes way, way further than it was supposed to go for way longer than it was supposed to go because it couldn't find anything. And so this planet is just kind of it. And this was sort of teed up a little bit in the prologue of the second book. So it's just been, yeah, I'm really, really excited to get to more of this. Been a fun time to read this as well and just read more in this world. And then I am buddy reading that also with Tori from Tori Talks as well too. So we've been talking about reading this one for a while. We both really enjoyed Coldfire, so I'm excited to get to that. And then I'm also I'm buddy reading Sleeping Late on Judgment Day by Tad Williams with Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads. And so this one I've also started because they both are mostly ready to start at the beginning of the month. And this is the third and final book in the Bobby Dollar trilogy. And this is a bit different from Tad Williams' kind of normal stuff. And it's definitely not going to be like a favorite. But I basically, I hadn't really planned on getting to this series for a long time. But then when I had Tad on the channel, one of the times he talked about it and just made me want to read it. And so it's definitely very different from my normal kind of thing, but something that I've been still enjoying enough. And so that'll actually close out the trilogy for me as well. So that will be nice to have something totally closed out and finished. So working on that one as well. I have also been working on, actually since last month, because I did one for Readathon, the new Nightmare Land combo. And I've read this before, so this is a reread, but I have an e-arc of the new illustrated version. And I read the first 3 books last month. I finished the Flashlighters already this month. They're the first 5 are really, really short. And so I finished, is that the 4th one? I don't know. But yeah, no, that's the 4th one. Yeah, so I'm on City of Blood now, which is number 5, and then Lily, the 6th one, is the longer, like more novel-sized one. The rest of them are pretty short. So I've been working on that as well too, which I'm very much enjoying on my reread, just much as I did the first time. And then I also started Hollow Empire by Sam Hawk. This is the sequel to City of Lies. City of Lies, yes, it's behind me. I had to double check. And the second in the Poison War, and I think this is just a duology. I can't remember if this is a trilogy, but I think it might be a duology. So I'll see here. I've heard this one's not quite as good as the first one, but I'm only just 2 chapters in here as well. So I'm kind of just splitting time a little bit between stuff, and so I haven't gotten super far in this one quite yet, but started that one as well. And then we're going to go through the rest of everything here, which a lot I have physically, but not everything. But starting with Priest of Lies, which has been on so many different possible TBRs for continuing series. I read the first book. It's been, I think, several years now. I think it was the very first Battle of the Bands readathon I did. And we just did like the 7th iteration of that, and usually it's like 2 a year. So yeah, that's at least a few years. And I did Priest of Bones, the first one, so I really just need to continue and see. There are 4 books in this series. I have the first 2, possibly 3. But yeah, I just need to continue and see if it's going to even be a series that I plan to read the whole thing of, because it's just been so long and I haven't gotten to it. And you'll see that there's a lot of these are things that some of these are more recent, some of them I've needed to get to for forever. So it's definitely quite a mix. So we have that one. And then we have, gosh, this is chunky, Servant of the Empire, which is the second book in the Empire trilogy. Now, I'm sure I'm going to enjoy this. As you can see, though, it is just kind of chunky. The first book's pretty short, and the next 2 are longer, and I think the third one might be even longer than this. So they're pretty chunky. So definitely ones I know I'm going to enjoy. I really quite like the first one, and I'm very much expecting to enjoy the rest of the trilogy. I just needed to get to it, so I have that as a possibility as well. Then we have, which I could have sworn I had a physical copy of, but apparently it's one of the only couple I don't. The Judging Eye by R. Scott Baker. So this one would be ebook copy, because I do have the ebooks of the whole series, but I have physical of most. I didn't realize I didn't have this one, but also one I've been needing to continue for quite some time, because I read the Prince of Nothing trilogy and was really blown away by it, and I know Aspect Emperor is supposed to just even be better. So this is the first book in Aspect Emperor, continuing on, and I very much need to get to that one as well. So I'm greatly looking forward to that. Also, then we have the OG, I'll finish it someday, Tower Lord, the sequel to Blood Song. And this has been on my list for so long to get to. And it's just one of those books I never seem to get to. So chances are I won't get to it, but who knows? Maybe I will. I still just need to actually finish that series. And I know everybody says the first book's the best, but I want to just finish it. I have so many other Anthony Ryan books I need to try as well. So yeah, I'll get to it. I'll get to it hopefully one of these days, because I very much need to. Continuing on with some digital copies, then we have A Contract in Sulphorn. This is the second book in like the 8th Chant series / world. I think this is supposed to be super different from the first one, which was the Seasons of Albadome. And this one I think is quite different. But I really liked the first one, and I've been wanting to read this, and I have an ebook copy of this as well. So definitely on there for one to continue and give a try to. And then we have Fury Song, which is the third book in this series, and I'm what's the Aurelian Cycle? That's what it's called. This is like a YA series, Berserkmunda, and I read Fireborn also years ago, and then eventually I got to the second book, Flamefall, and I liked both. I just wish they weren't so heavy on the YA elements, because I think like there's a lot of really good stuff there. So this is one too. It's not been like a priority series for me, but I've really enjoyed the series overall, and so I do just want to get this one closed out. So that'll be a good one too, just to finish out the series and get to that point as well. Then another one that also I've needed to get to for forever, and I've had an ebook copy of forever, A Grave for Us All by Michael Roberti, Crown and Tide Book 2. I read both the first book and then the prequel novella I read as well. And I'm drawing a blank now on the name of the first book. It's around here somewhere. That took me way too long to find, considering it's quite literally right next to me. But The Traders We Are is the first book. So this one, I enjoyed that book, and I read the prequel, but I just haven't gotten around to continuing here too. I feel like when I don't have physical reminders, sometimes I'm so bad at like, getting to ebook copies. So there's definitely some like that in here as well. And then funny enough, I had Ethan of Athos on my list when I originally made this, and I ended up reading that during Readathon, which actually was not technically the next book I had in the series, I realized afterward, because Seed of Gamma is the next book I have for Vorkosigan. And I have been immensely enjoying Vorkosigan quite a lot. It's just been a series that everybody told me, like, oh, it's so good, and I kept putting it off, and I'm having a blast. So that's a very strong possibility, because I've been getting through that actually pretty regularly, getting through the Vorkosigan books, and I just got some new copies I'll have to show off here pretty soon as well. But yeah, I'm really enjoying Vorkosigan, so getting to the next book will be a lot of fun there as well. And then another very long-running series that I've been working on, Jingo's the next Discworld book that I have. I'm over halfway through this series now, but it's one that I've been enjoying, but I've also just been taking my time with and only kind of reading when the mood strikes me. So I've had that on the docket for quite a while, but it's a city watch book, so I'm sure it'll be good. I'm one of the few people that's reading it in publication order, so that's why when I say I'm almost halfway through the series, I am a bit over half through all of them, and so yeah, it's definitely always a possibility. Just kind of depends if the mood strikes me. We'll see going there. Then, about as far away from Discworld as you could possibly get, we have The Gap into Madness, Chaos, and Order, which is the next book, I think the third book in the Gap cycle by Stephen R. Donaldson, which is incredibly dark, messed up sci-fi, and it's been a trip. I was very much forewarned about this series by pretty much everybody going in, but everybody says it's worth it, and I definitely trust Donaldson. But it's a pretty bleak and messed up series, so I have been meaning to continue that one as well. So I have that there on the list. Also, might be one that just depends if I'm in the mood for that kind of book as well here too. So we will have to see. But yeah, that's been I'm fully willing to trust the process on that one because Donaldson is one of my favorite authors, and so I'm so really interested and intrigued to see where the whole series is going to go. Then we have A Blight of Blackweens, which I've had this whole trilogy for a really long time as well, and then I recently read the first book of the Seven Kennings, and I've heard that the first book is the best in the series, so this will be another one where I'll try book two and I'll see kind of what I think on it, and if I continue or if I get rid of my copies or whatever may happen, so I'll have to kind of see. But it's just one that I need to continue with for a bit now. Well, I need to read the whole thing for a bit. It's actually not been that long for continuing, but also definitely one that's on the list. So we will see if I get to that. And then the original Cursed to Never Get to book, probably Blade of Dream by Daniel Abraham. This is the sequel to Age of Ash, which was the first book in Kithamar. And at least like the whole thing's not out yet. So maybe at this rate, maybe if I don't get to it, I'll just end up doing it all together at some point because it's just been ages. This one I was gonna read right when it came out, but it was in the middle of a readathon. I didn't have time, and just for whatever reason, anytime I put it on a TBR, I'm just like cursed not to get to it. But I really liked the first book, so it's one I'm really intrigued to read and get to. It's just for whatever reason just has not been happening for some reason. So there's always the chance we get to that. Then we have another series which is been another kind of slow going series, but that I've been having a fun time with. The Wayfarer Redemption by Sarah Douglas. This is book 3, Starman, which is a bit chonkier than the first couple in the series. But this has been I've been slowly doing these as a buddy read, and it's just like it is so hard to describe this series because it's so full of like just old school fantasy type of stuff, but it's also just there's just some absolutely wild stuff. You don't know what to expect. The author will just suddenly like pull out the most like graphic, gruesome stuff out of nowhere sometimes. And these books have just been a trip. I don't think it's going to end up being a favorite series or anything like that, but it's been very entertaining to go through. But for some reason, also, whenever I read these, I tend to read them very, very slowly. So it's been another one that it takes me some time to get to, but it's one I've also been enjoying. So definitely here on the list as well. We have Paladin of Souls by Loswick Master Bujold. And I think this is the one that people are a bit hit or miss on, but I do need to eventually continue with World of Five Gods as well, which you would think it'd be the fantasy, and that's originally what I was focusing on more so was her fantasy versus her sci-fi. Vorkosigan's kind of taken over, so that's where it's less likely I'll get to that than the next Vorkosigan book because I've been very much prioritizing her sci-fi over this, but I've been doing more of the Penrick novellas, and I really do like the world, and so I am curious to try more of the actual full like novels in the world. So it's still on the list as a potential option. Then we have Shadow Play by Tad Williams making another appearance here as well. I read Shadow March and I was not crazy on it. It really was. It took me a while to get into, and I've heard that it really gets going and gets a whole lot better. It's Tad Williams, another one of my favorite authors, so very much willing to trust that it's going to get there. But it's one I've kind of put off because I wasn't the craziest fan of the first book, but it's on here as well. It's another pretty long one though, so again, there's no way I get to even half of all the stuff that I'm going to talk about, but that's the whole glory of the pile. It's just I have so much to pick from, so I'm definitely going to be able to find something that's going to spark the right kind of mood read at any given point. Then we have A Haunt for Jackals by J.L. Autumn. This is the second book in the Land of Exile, and this is By Blood, by Salt. It's the first book here. That one was one that I read that I really quite enjoyed. It was really unique and just had a lot of cool stuff going on here with it. And I have the physical copy of this one. And so I've been waiting until I got a physical copy to read it, and I have it now. So I really need to get to this one as well. And I'm just really curious because that book was really, really good, and the ending as well kind of had some big reveals. So I'm really curious to see where that one goes and continue on with that series. Then another one that would be finishing a trilogy. I have False Idols by Tobias Youngblood, which is the third book in the Projectionist series. And this has also been just a wild series. The first two books they're kind of, it is a little bit more sort of like urban fantasy with kind of some noir feel with some other things. It's one of those series where you can just, the author's just putting the elements that they would like to read into a book. And so it's really wild. It has some cool world building, some crazy stuff happening, and it's been just a very entertaining and readable series. I got through both the first two books so quickly when I was reading them, so I'm really curious to see where this one goes and ends up because there's some wild stuff happening there as well for sure. Then we have Sorcery of a Queen by Brian Naslund, which this is the the second book, of course. This is a continuing series in the Dragons of Terra. And this one too, it took me absolutely forever. I have this trilogy and had needed to get to this for forever also. And I read finally Blood of an Exile. Um, not super long ago, but it's been a little bit at this point, and I liked it enough that I was planning to continue. So need to just get to this one as well here too. So it's been, yeah, these are another couple of the ones where the fact that so many of this list is physical books. There's some more digital ones coming, but so many of this list is physical books too. Where even so, I'm like, some of these it's because I don't have the physical book to remind me. I don't really have a good excuse with many of these because I do have the physical books to remind me and just have not gotten to them for whatever reason. But that's sometimes that's just the way it goes, with just not getting to things quickly, especially if you're me. It definitely happens to me. Next up, though, is another kind of recent one, Divided Allegiance by Elizabeth Moon. This is the second book in the Deed of Paxenarian, and this was a Backlist Book Club book that we did, and I really liked the first one, and I know that Fina already did continue. And so I also really want to continue as well. I was doing, I think Cold Fire, that was the one I was continuing, and she was continuing with this one. So I really do want to continue because I quite liked the first book. It was just super different, very military fantasy, but really good. And I'm very curious to read the rest of this series, to read more in this world, and just to check out more of this author in general. So it all starts with Divided Allegiance that we have on the list. And then another one, which is continuing a Backlist Book Club pick, Dark Spell by Catherine Kerr. And this is the second book in and I'm trying not to mix these up. So the Devery cycle, because there's the similarly sounding author and the similar sounding series. So I don't want to mess it up. But the second book in Devery. And the first one was different. It was very, very strange, and had some elements that were not my favorite by any means. Some things that were very much can turn some people off from the series. But the overall world building and ideas I found fascinating. So I really want to at least try the first trilogy. I think the first three, and kind of see how I feel. And so that would be continuing here first with Darkspell, because it's just, yeah, there was definitely enough of the good and stuff that had me really, really interested to make me want to continue. So it makes its way onto the list for sure. Next up, another digital copy, Twin Ascendant by Ben Simmons. And this is the sequel to Prophecy of the Yew Tree, which was a review copy that I was sent a while back. And it was one that I had some mixed thoughts on, but I was very curious to see where it was going to be going with the overall story. And then I say he had let me know at some point that the second book was out, so I immediately added it to my list as well to get to here. And so it's another one that I have on kind of, it's been on the back burner for a little bit with everything else in this list pretty much, but when I am definitely intending to get to, so makes the list here as well. Speaking of sequels to review copies previously, I have Istria by Sam Middleton, which is another Tale of the Fromir. And the first book was Luthien, and it was another one too where I had some ups and downs, but this series and the world building and just the crazy setting was so cool. I absolutely fell in love with the world building, and so I'm really excited to try more of this because um, I'm so world building focused, and it's one of the reasons that I do a lot more fantasy than sci-fi. So having a sci-fi that's super actiony, has a lot of fun stuff, and just has fascinating world building was really fun to get the stuff that I love about fantasy in sci-fi settings. So I'm very much looking forward to that one as well. Then we have continuing in the Dark Elf trilogy with Exile, and I did Homeland earlier this year, and this is one that I had been meaning to read for so terribly long, and I finally got to earlier this year. And I liked Homeland. I didn't like love the series, but it's one too. I think again I'm gonna need to probably finish the trilogy. I've heard, I know the Icewind Dale trilogy is supposed to be the better one, but it's real hit or miss with what people tell you to start with. But I figured I'd start with this because this is the the kind of the origins here and figure it out. So I thought the first book was solid, so I kind of just I'm gonna continue and see how I feel about this one. So another one where I just want to see where it'll go and determine if it's going to be a series that I think I'm going to continue or not. I'll probably try other Forgotten Realms stuff at some point, regardless. But I just wanted to finally get to this one. He's gonna have had that copy for ages, and it's just one that I needed to try to get to. And then next up we have Dreaming the Bold by Amanda Scott. And this is one I read, actually, gosh, it was the first book of this was, I think, like early last year. So it's been quite some time at this point, I think. But I really liked the first book, and this is the Boudica. I was gonna say trilogy, but I think there's 4 books. And I really like the first book here. This is very much it's historical fantasy. It's marketed as historical fiction, but it's very much historical fantasy, and it's some of the storytelling or some of the elements are things that I've seen, and again, it's history. So you kind of I know enough to know where some things are going, but just the storytelling style of Amanda Scott's really what pulled me in here, and I quite enjoyed it. So I am also looking forward to continuing that one. I have been for quite a while as well, and it's just another one that I haven't quite gotten to. Then we have Call of the Bone Ships by R.J. Barker, and I did the first book here. I've been this series had been on my list for a really long time, and I'd heard good things, and I finally tried the first book, and I really enjoyed it, and then promptly just didn't get to the rest of the series. And so this is one's on my list as well here too. This was just kind of a unique series with, I mean, literally, it's the ships are made of dragon bone, and there's a lot of just it's a very nautical seafaring type of fantasy, and so it's the first one I quite enjoyed, and I'm looking forward to this one here as well. And this is book 2, so book 2 and 3 I need to get to as well, but I just was putting the book that I have next. Then another one that's been put off for a long time for slightly different reasons, but we have Lonesome Crown by Brian Lee Durfee. And I have not been the biggest fan of this series. I didn't care for the first book. I thought the second book was better, but I still have a lot of issues with it. And I've heard that this is a little bit of a messy final book as well. But I do just want to finish the series, and so that's kind of where I'm at. Is I want to finish the series and then just kind of have this crossed off as done. So it's definitely one I need to get to at some point, but I haven't been rushing to get to it either because I know that it's very likely it's going to be something I'm a little bit mixed on, and we'll kind of have to see. But so that's where we're at with that one. Then we have Isola, this is a bind up that has 2 books in it, and so I did Dragon just this last month for during the readathon as well here too. And I've just really been enjoying the Vlad Taltos novels by Stephen Bruce, and so Isola is the one I have next. I recently too I got the next bind up because I realized I was finally getting to the end of the ones that I had, but I just really enjoyed this series as well. It's super fun. It's not quite my normal thing. It's like style wise, it's very different from a lot of the fantasy that I read, but it's fun. It has some really cool ideas, world building, and it's been changing it up enough too to keep it very interesting. And the last one, Dragon, was kind of a throwback. It was an earlier timeline book, and I also didn't realize how much I missed just going back to the feeling of the first couple books because things had shifted up. So it was a lot of fun, and I quite enjoyed that one, and looking forward to continuing this series as well. And then another continuing series from Magnus Book Club, we have An Earthly Crown from Kate Elliott, which is the second book in the novels of the Duran. And this one is, I don't think this is going to be a favorite Kate Elliott series for me. It is one of her really early series, and it's very sci-fantasy, but it's still, even though this is so early in her career, has the things that I absolutely love about Kate Elliott, which is just the so cool world building that builds the further that you go. So it's one that I enjoyed the first book enough that I'm very curious to see where it goes and continue. Some absolutely makes the list for sure. The next up, which this is a short one, so I might just try and shove it in. We have The Web of the Witch World by Andre Norton. This is the second book in the Witch World series trilogy. I think there's a lot of them, but like in the initial three, this is super short. I did the first one a while back, and I wasn't crazy about it, but it was again one where I felt like I wanted to try at least one more book in the series before deciding if it was one to continue or not. So that's been on my list for a while, just to give a shot and to try for that reason as well. And then we have The Death of Chaos by Ellie Modesitt Jr. This is the next book in Recluse. And this one actually, I started on, if you saw, I did a short about it. I started on graphic audio and I just could not get into the graphic audio. So that was going to be an experiment to try graphic audio with this book because I happened to get it on sale really, really cheap. Did not care for that. So if I do, I'll be going back to reading that one physically or get like an ebook copy or something because graphic audio version's not going to work for me. But this one is a direct sequel to the first Recluse book, whereas most of them after that have been like way prequels, and we've been kind of working our way back up to this one. So checking back in on the character from the first one should be really interesting there. And that's another just series that I'm very slowly kind of getting through. So definitely counts here as well. Then finally, we do have a couple things I'm very excited for because I have a couple of review copies on here, which include The Splintered Sun by Tad Williams, which this is a prequel in the world of Austenard, but I am, it's Tad Williams, B, it's Austenard, like you can't really go wrong there. So I am extremely excited to get to this one, very much so. And so I cannot wait to get to this one and get started. So I'm very, very excited to read The Splintered Sun for sure and continue on in that world. And then we have The Thrice Bound Fool by Christopher Buehlman, which is finally the sequel to The Black Tongue Thief. And I've read both Black Tongue Thief and then the prequel, The Daughter's War as well, which is very different tonally. I'm curious here. I think this one's supposed to get back to the tone of The Black Tongue Thief. And I've just been, ever since reading The Black Tongue Thief, that was the first Buehlman book I think I read. I've read a lot more of his stuff since then and just really have enjoyed overall his writing and his style and everything there. So I'm really looking forward to giving this one a shot as well and getting to that. So there you have it. I think that's the next book's in pretty much everything that I have ongoing. There's always a chance that I'm forgetting some series somewhere that I started, but this is a pretty long list overall. So these are all going to be the things I will be choosing from. There's very possible I end up doing something else, but again, I have a really nice variety here. So this is all stuff that I will be choosing from and trying to get through and just seeing how much I get through kind of casually and going from there. As always, if there's a certain book here that you are like, oh, definitely try to get to this one, let me know as well here too, because I have no idea what order I'll be reading these. I'm just going to kind of be picking stuff up as the mood strikes. But I'm excited to get into more of these, and I'm off to a really great start so far in August. So that's going to be it. So let me know your thoughts on any of these or what you're planning to read for the month of August, or if you've got some series that you really, really need to continue as well. Of course, make sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Check the links in the description as always for the Patreon if you want to support what I do, as well as the Wizardly Enclave Discord if you want to chat books, whether any of these books, other books, really anything at all. It's a lot of fun. We'd love to have you. And of course, if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe.